Happy World Oceans Day. Welcome back to the channel. This is Sharma Roussel, living in Grecia, sharing information about moving to Costa Rica, retiring in Costa Rica, and living in Costa Rica. Since 2002, World Oceans Day has been observed, and the purpose is to increase awareness about the important role that oceans play in habitats in the natural world all over the earth. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has been collecting scientific data about the oceans for a long, long time, decades and decades. And we know that our oceans are warming as our planet also is warming. And so that means that we will see stronger storms and more frequent storms. Scientists have used factual scientific data to tell us that for decades now. And of course, we are already seeing that, and we can expect to continue to see that. Oceans absorb carbon dioxide, CO2, from the atmosphere, and that carbon dioxide comes from all of the fossil fuels that we burn to produce electricity, to drive our cars, to fly on jets. And one of the things, of course, that we can do to reduce that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is to reduce how much we fly and drive and how much electricity we consume. So we know that oceans act as carbon sinks, natural carbon sinks. So they absorb the CO2, and that reduces the impact of the CO2 in the atmosphere. But the oceans have been doing that for so long that they're about maxed out, and they're having trouble kind of keeping up with the amount of fossil fuels that we burn. So in addition to, so a lot of the coral reefs are dying as a result of acidification in the ocean. So coral reefs are those natural formations that scuba divers and snorkelers love to see all over the world. But in addition to that beauty of the natural world, coral reefs also serve an important purpose. They protect the habitats of fish. You know, medium-sized fish eat little fish, and big fish eat the medium-sized fish, and that's like the food chain. And of course, we eventually eat fish. Fish is an important source of protein for human beings. And in addition to protecting fish habitats, coral reefs also act as a barrier that protect shorelines from erosion, like beaches in Florida, in the United States, but also here in Costa Rica, where there are more than 600 public beaches. So those reefs in the ocean kind of protect the shorelines really all over the world. So in the last 50 years, we have lost about 50% of the coral reefs. Now, some scientific estimates are much higher than that. I've seen estimates as high as 80% or more, that we've lost 80% of our coral reefs. And of course, that has devastating impacts on the planet. But it can be reversed. Coral reefs can bounce back. And all it takes is humans doing some simple things like driving less and flying less and consuming less electricity. So, and also consuming electricity that comes from a source other than burning fossil fuels. Like here in Costa Rica, more than 90% of the electricity that is consumed is produced from hydropower sources. So it's the rivers and the waterfalls and the rainfall that produce the majority of the electricity that's consumed in Costa Rica, which is one of the things that I like best about living in Costa Rica. But we can still consume less by driving less, flying less, consuming less electricity, and also making sure that when we buy new appliances, they are energy saver appliances. Now, plastic waste also has a devastating impact on our oceans, and we can see plastic waste all over the world, but particularly in our oceans, where a lot of plastic waste travels downstream and ends up in the ocean, and it's just really unsightly, but also it can be very dangerous for the fish living in the ocean. And one of the things that we can do is really easy to do, and that is to eliminate single-use plastic. Now, in Costa Rica, which has 600 public beaches, it's a shame. It's such a shame to see plastic waste washed up on the beautiful beaches. But here in Costa Rica, you almost never see a plastic straw. Most of the straws are paper. So that helps reduce the use of single use plastic. You almost never see a plastic cup. Whenever you go out to eat, you almost always get your drink in a real glass or a real cup that is reusable, or at least a paper cup. But hardly ever do you see a plastic cup or any plastic utensils. No plastic forks, plastic spoons, plastic knives. Most of the time when you go out to eat, your utensils will be metal utensils, and they will be in a cloth sleeve, which can be washed and reused. A lot of us who live in Costa Rica, we shop at the local farmers market and buy fresh local food that's very nutritious from local farmers, which also reduces our impact on the planet because we are buying fresh local food instead of processed food that is wrapped in plastic, which then gets thrown away and has maybe traveled all over the world. So there's a huge carbon footprint attached to packaged foods that travel a long distance. So eating local is always much better. Now, one of the things that I saw, I did fly uh, recently on Southwest Airlines. I try not to fly as much as possible, but about twice a year I fly, and I recently flew on Southwest, and I saw that they had these little paper cups that say woohoo for bamboo, introducing the bamboo cup. And there's a website that you can go to learn more about the efforts of Southwest. It's southwest.com/planet. So Southwest has an intention to reduce its emissions. Their goal is net zero carbon emissions by 2050, and they plan to do that by increasing energy efficiency and reducing single-use plastic. So at Southwest, all well, they're changing all of their ground vehicles. They're transitioning those to electric vehicles, to EVs. Now, you can't do that with jets in the sky yet. They burn fossil fuels. They burn a lot of it. But one of the things that Southwest Airlines is trying to do, and other airlines may be doing this too, I'm not sure, but they're trying to transition all of their ground vehicles to electric vehicles, which reduces their carbon footprint. And these cups that I showed you, these cups that look like this, they are 75% bamboo. So all trees absorb carbon dioxide, but bamboo is especially efficient at absorbing carbon dioxide from the air and sequestering that CO2 in its root system and in the soil. So if you go to a website called drawdown.org, you will see like 80 to 100 recommendations for reducing our footprint on the planet and reducing the carbon emissions that we're responsible for. And bamboo is one of the recommendations because bamboo rapidly sequesters that carbon dioxide. All trees do it, but bamboo does it very rapidly. Bamboo is fast growing. It matures very, very quickly. Now, a lot of people don't like bamboo because it can be such a nuisance because it does reproduce so rapidly and can be invasive. I recently went to a botanical garden here in Costa Rica, and they had different areas. Like they had a fern garden and they had a orchid garden, but they also had a bamboo garden, and they did just some beautiful things with bamboo. They had bamboo arches, and they had tables and benches under the bamboo or arches so that people could relax and read a book or have a conversation under these bamboo arches. So there are plenty of lovely things that you can do with bamboo. You can not only make paper-like products from bamboo, but bamboo is also great for manufacturing furniture. So one of the things that I noticed when I was on Southwest Airlines is that they were pouring water from aluminum cans into these paper cups that they were handing out to people. So, as we all know, aluminum cans are much better for recycling than plastic bottles. An aluminum can that's recycled can become a brand new aluminum can in just a few days. And so, as long as they're recycled, then that's an important thing to take into consideration. Plastic can be recycled. Plastic bottles, especially plastic water bottles, are still a problem because we find that very few of them are actually recycled, even though recycling containers may be available for people to use. A lot of people don't go to that trouble and they simply throw plastic bottles into garbage cans. But plastic is more difficult to recycle because of all of the different colors and thicknesses and types of plastic. So, aluminum cans are much easier to recycle. So I was glad to see that the flight attendants on Southwest Airlines were pouring water from aluminum cans into these paper cups that they were then distributing. So again, bamboo is great for sequestering carbon in its root system and in the soil, and bamboo can improve air and water quality. And that's important because when our air quality and our water quality improve, then we reduce respiratory illnesses and also gastrointestinal issues. So it's better for our health if we use products that are made from bamboo rather than other trees. Although any kind of tree, planting any kind of tree is important for sequestering carbon dioxide, reducing that CO2 in the atmosphere. Bamboo is just a little bit better, and that's why Drawdown recommends it. So those are just a few of my thoughts on World Oceans Day, and I hope that everyone is having a wonderful day today celebrating World Oceans Day. If you have additional information or alternative information, please put it in the comments section. Pura Vida, ciao.